This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.
Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for March 19, 2023. And in the news this afternoon, bar robbed in Portmore. Robbers made off with liquor, cigarettes, and an undetermined sum of cash following a hold-up at a bar in Westchester in Portmore, St. Catherine Saturday night. The police have reported that 3 men posing as customers entered the premises around 9:30 p.m. and ordered a cigarette. The strange order reportedly aroused the suspicion of the female bartender. She then told them she was closing up for the day, but one of the men brandished a gun and demanded valuables. The hoodlums escaped on foot after forcing open 4 roulette boxes and taking other items. Hanover shopkeeper stabbed to death. A Hanover shopkeeper was stabbed to death at his business establishment in Hopewell District, Sandy Bay on Saturday. Police reported that about 5:45 p.m., 21-year-old Christopher Hibbert was inside his business place when a man visited him. Shortly after, both were seen in a physical confrontation. Following the altercation, Hibbert was seen suffering from what appeared to be multiple stab wounds. It was discovered that a ratchet knife was used to stab the businessman several times. He was assisted to hospital where he died while undergoing treatment. The police have since been seeking to apprehend the alleged killer who fled the area. Shootout at Portmore Plaza as gunmen attack a security team. There was a shooting incident at the Portmore Plaza in Portmore, St. Catherine on Sunday afternoon. The news understands that gunmen attacked a beryllium security team at a Scotiabank automated teller machine. Videos of the incident are circulating on social media, showing what appears to be a shootout between members of the security team and the gunmen. Louisville residents facing eviction welcome injunction filed by opposition leader. Several residents of Pleasant Hill in Louisville, St. Catherine, have welcomed the injunction filed to prevent any action to evict them from lands they occupy. A number of them have been occupying the lands since the 1980s. Last October, the residents were without a prior warning served notices by the government to vacate their homes. Opposition leader Mark Golden, during his budget presentation, said an injunction was filed to prevent their eviction until the matter is settled. Resident of Pleasant Hill, Beverly Gordon, while welcoming the move by the opposition leader, says she is anxious to be regularized. Some 65 families who have been living for several decades in the rural community of Providence near Louisville, St. Catherine, are said to be affected. Police delegates locked in meeting over disputed poll to accept a government's wage offer. Delegates of the Jamaica Police Federation are locked in a meeting discussing the results of the disputed poll on whether to accept the government's wage offer under the new compensation review. The delegates held a vote on Thursday, which saw an overwhelming majority voting to accept the offer. This did not sit well with the membership, who claimed that the more than 600 votes in favor of the offer were questionable, and an emergency meeting was called for this morning to address the matter. Delegates had complained that virtual voting was affected by glitches in the system due to several power outages, which impacted the internet connections of people who were voting. There are calls for the polls to be redone in support of equity and transparency. There has been no word on the outcome of the meeting. 5 people in custody following seizure of 2 guns in St. Thomas. 5 people, including a woman, were detained by the St. Thomas police following the seizure of 2 firearms and 38 rounds of ammunition in 2 separate incidents over a 24-hour period. In the first incident, about 6:30 a.m. on Friday, March 17, a police team armed with a search warrant went to 2 premises. This led to the discovery of a firearm loaded with 14 9mm rounds. 2 people were arrested in connection with the seizure and are to be questioned in the presence of their attorneys. In the second incident, at about 5 p.m., the police, armed with a search warrant, went to Hampstead District in Dallas to search the house of another suspect. Upon arrival of the police team, The suspect reportedly pulled a firearm from his waistband and threw it inside a bedroom. The police reportedly entered the premises and retrieved the weapon loaded with a magazine containing 24 9mm rounds. 2 men and a woman were arrested during the second incident. Ministries to look at the uptick in suicides and domestic violence since COVID-19. The Ministry of National Security will be partnering with the Ministry of Health and Wellness to look at the number of suicides and domestic violence cases that have occurred since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang says there has been an uptick in both domestic violence and suicides. He noted that the pandemic also seems to have negatively affected student behavior. Dr. Chang is therefore highlighting the need to review statistics to determine the cause. He says the government is also ensuring that vulnerable communities benefit from social service interventions to address these problems.
But I said we need to pull all the statistics together. I'm collaborating with the Ministry of Health and that. Look at what we have, what's happening there. The tension in the schools, all that seemed to have come out after nearly 2.5 years, 3 years of relative lack of socialization in the community. So it's something we're aware of. And if you notice that when the new compensation package is put out, the Minister of Finance indicated that among the professionals who will benefit significantly are social workers and psychologists, because we do need professionals to begin to deal with the issues out here.
Cops search for boyfriend after woman's ex-lover killed in Westmoreland. A Westmoreland man is being sought by the police following the killing of his girlfriend's ex-lover in Greenhill Morgan's Bridge, Westmoreland on Saturday. The ex-lover, 38-year-old Ian Salmon, was stabbed to death when he visited a son he had with a woman, police are reporting. Reports reaching the news are that about 11 a.m., the ex-lover went to see his son. Police said while there, he was reportedly attacked and stabbed several times. Salmon was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Police said the woman's boyfriend fled the scene after the incident and is currently being sought by the authorities. The police are trying to determine the reason for the attack. Taxi driver and the passenger shot in St. Elizabeth. 2 men were shot and injured by gunmen on Saturday morning in Lacovia, St. Elizabeth. The gunmen reportedly shot up a vehicle at the entrance to the Dry Harbor Main Road in Lacovia. One of the injured men is a taxi operator who was the driver of the vehicle at the time of the shooting incident, while the other is a male passenger. The Corporate Communications Unit confirmed the shooting. Reports are that the Toyota Noah motor truck was shot up by men who were traveling in a Nissan AD wagon. Both occupants of the vehicle were injured and rushed to the Black River Hospital by a taxi operator. Their condition could not be ascertained at the time of publication.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.